Hello, and today I will be presenting the physicist Erwin Schrodinger. So let's go into his early life and his family background. Schrodinger was born on August 12th in 1887 in Vienna, Austria, and he was an only child, and he was of mixed blood. His father, Rudolf Schrodinger, was an Austrian, and he was a botanist and an oilcloth factory owner. He liked to study chemistry, Italian painting, and botany, and he was from a Bavarian family which generations before had settled in Vienna. His mother was Georgine Emilia Brenda, and she was half British and half Austrian and was a professor. So he was also homeschooled till age 11, and afterwards he attended Vienna's Akademisches Gymnasium, and he was very interested in science, and he liked grammar and German poetry, but he didn't like learning from books and memorizing data. So let's go into his education. In 1906, he was accepted into the University of Vienna, and he was inspired and influenced by Fritz Hasen-Nohrl's lectures on theoretical physics. On May 20th, 1910, he received his doctorate for his dissertation on the conduction, why is that so hard to pronounce, of electricity on the surface of insulators and in moist air. And on September 1st, 1914, he was awarded the habilitation, which is the highest academic degree denoting independent scholarship. So, for his career, in 1911, he started working as an assistant for Franz Exner and conducted practical work for students. But when World War I came around, he served as an artillery officer in Italy. During 1920, he started working at the University of Zurich, and these were named as some of his favorite years, and he enjoyed friendships with his colleagues such as Hermann Weyl and Peter Debye. It's also known as his most productive period, and he dealt with a lot of subjects of theoretical physics, like specific heats of solids, thermodynamics, Boltzmann's probability theory, and atomic spectra, and the physiological studies of color. In 1927, he accepted an invitation to the University of Berlin, where he met the famous theoretical physicist Albert Einstein. And in 1933, he relocated because of Hitler's anti-Semitic policies. So he moved from Austria to Great Britain to Belgium to Rome and then Berlin. And it was actually in Great Britain that he realized he had won the Nobel Prize. And in 1939, he became the director of the School for Theoretical Physics and the Advanced Studies at the Institute for Advanced Studies in Dublin. And in 1944, he published the book What is Life, which connected quantum physics and genetics. In 1955, he finally retired, and in 1961, after his retirement, he published his last book, My View of the World, which expressed his metaphysical outlook on life. So let's dive into his actual great discoveries. In 1926, which was back when he was working at the University of Zurich, he discovered the wave equation. It came about because he was dissatisfied with Bohr's orbit theory and how it worked, and he came upon a thesis by de Broglie for wave mechanics, and from those two he linked together and concluded that the movements of electrons were in waves. He explained that the different stages of atoms' electrons can be described, and their state of energy can also be predicted by a wave equation. And all of his findings were published in a paper called Quantization as an eigenvalue problem. And for this, he won the Nobel Prize. Now, he also conducted a thought experiment, which is very famous. It was conducted in 1935 and is called Schrodinger's cat. It tried to explain like the behavior of electrons, and the way that he did this was he put a cat inside of a closed box with poison gas and completely closed, no light whatsoever. And the only way to observe what was going on inside of the box was by taking a picture and looking at the cat. But by taking a picture of it and using flash, because back then they only had flash cameras, it changed its quantum state. So the cat was always in this state of dead and alive, and it confuses like the onlooker. So even if we do look at the cat, it still like sends photons and takes photons. So it changes the quantum state of the cat. So in summation, why was Schrodinger so important? He came up with a wave equation which described electron movement as a wave, which gave the probability of finding an electron at a certain position. So here are the homework questions. You can pause the video or just take a look at them, and that's the end of my presentation. I hope you guys are doing okay in this quarantine, and that's it.